Yo, 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 what up? So this is a video on how to not make clay pins. Um, yeah, I just thought I'd post it anyway, as it might be a good learning curve for people, and to see how to not make them. Started off good in the beginning. They look kind of cute, but you'll see it just goes downhill from here. But yeah, enjoy the video. So to start off, I drew out the designs roughly on my iPad and I printed them out in two variations, just one a little bit bigger because I didn't want to freehand draw them. And then I got two little bags of Sculpey. I was going to get a big one, but I didn't want to get loads and decide I didn't like making them, so I got two little ones. They were quite cheap. And then I got some Sculpey glaze and using a pen for a rolling pin. I also got a Posca pen for the outlines as I'm not the best at painting. And then I have my knife, some pin backs, pack of like 20, I think it was. They're really cheap. And I didn't know if I was going to stick them on or push them into the back of the clay. I've seen lots of videos of people doing it different ways, but that was the plan. So I skipped me sculpting because it's not anything exciting. I basically just rolled the clay out about 1/4 of an inch thick, and then I cut out the templates, laid them down, and kind of cut around them. It only took one bag of Sculpey to make the 8, 9 that I made, so I just stopped there as I didn't know how they were going to turn out, and I figured, yeah. So I was just kind of getting a bit bored of it, so I just made the 9, and then I went to go put them in the oven.
Hello, I'm here.
So, me being a scaredy cat, sorry about this awful lighting. Anyway, so me being a scaredy cat, I drew on the lines with pencil. I am not a painter, and I spent too long sculpting these that I wasn't trying to mess them up. So I started off with a whitewash on the back of them because they were fluffy. It took me quite a while to learn how to not get them fluffy on the back. Like, I thought I wiped down my surfaces and washed my hands enough, but apparently not. So I washed them with white on the back to begin with to try and get rid of a lot of the dust because it's not a cute look. So that is what I'm doing here. And then we move on to colour. This bit was actually quite fun. I was just sitting there listening to music or watching just some Netflix and painting. So I couldn't decide whether I wanted to go all the way around, but I just decided to stick to the sides and the front. Most colours took more than one layer. Like this green, I think it took like 3 layers to get it to the actual colour I wanted. I'm not sure if that's because my acrylics aren't that great, or just sometimes when you paint a dark colour onto a light colour, it takes a few turns. Like the yellow, most of them went down in 1 or 2 layers. But yeah, so I'm just painting the pencil, and then I had some rainbows, a baked bean, a potato, a bear, some random little pattern thing, and a tree. But this is my head more than anything. Yeah, I just painted all the colour on all of them. And this, my dudes, is where it starts to go downhill. So, I was using Poscas for the first time. I think that is partly the reason why it didn't turn out well. I did read like instructions and I pumped them, and I waited a good few days for the paint to dry, so I'm not too sure what happened. But anyway, so those two that I just showed turned out well, and this one turned out so bad. It was, when I was using the pen, it was dragging the paint and it was flaking it off. And I think, as you can tell, the paint isn't put on very nicely anyway. I think it's just wishy-washy paint. And yeah, it wasn't cute. So that one definitely was not going to be for sale anyway. And I knew it was going to be my test one when I glazed. And you will see in the future that that is a good thing that happened. And I also tried white Posca pen, and this happened. It also dragged the paint off. I'm not too sure what I done wrong. If anyone is a Posca pro and can let me know, please do, because I actually enjoyed using these Posca pens, but they were just a lot of stress. They caused me a lot of stress. But anyway, so what I done was I painted the eyes on instead with acrylic, and then after I will go in with the black Posca and I will do the outlines. So this is when I thought things were on the up again. I was drawing in the eyes and doing the outlines and the mouths with the black Posca, and it was going good. Look at them, they have faces, they're coming to life. So I was getting excited and I thought this could work, but boy was I wrong. So I finished drawing the faces and waited for them to dry again. I think like another 2 days. This is the longest project I've probably done because I kept on getting frustrated. I kept on leaving it and then I had to like talk myself into starting it again. But yes, this is the finished pins before they've been glazed. I just stuck the pin backs on. I use 2-part epoxy. It's just something that I knew was going to be strong, so that's what I used. But you can see the amount of fluff on the back of them. A whole mess. A whole mess. I put 2 on some of them because they're quite big, but I've realised I think with better pin placement, I don't think it's needed to have 2, but everything's a learning curve. So here I'm just putting some pegs onto the back of the pins so that when I glaze them they can stand up because they were lying on the sides and I wanted them to just basically be able to dry all around. And this is where I gave up completely. So as you can see, luckily I'm using the pin that came out bad and I pour a bit of Sculpey glaze on and I start to paint or glaze, whatever you want to call it. And what do you think happens? The Posca runs. The whole thing pretty much turned grey. And I screamed. You can't hear it. But that's that. But yes, in the end, I went to an art shop and I spoke to someone and he recommended me trying this spray varnish. I read up online and basically it's better to have acrylic based because some glazes are water based and it just makes Posca pens run apparently. So, well, not apparently, it happened. But anyway, that was my first experience making clay pins. It wasn't awful, but I learnt a lot, so I can't complain. And yeah, I am determined to try again because I actually really enjoyed making them, which I wasn't expecting to do. And I put the love heart one, I kept the love heart one myself, and I put it on my coat and I fell in love. So I am determined and I will be back with another clay pin video and hopefully this time it will work. Goodbye.